Good morning. Here we have Wheato as our top leading gainer. Bit of a pivot above 969. Morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Stomach's feeling a little bit not the greatest today, but we shall make do. I gotta be careful here on Friday. Ross mentioned it yesterday in his recap as well that we've just been having a really choppy week, so we gotta make sure that we're not gonna get in on a big false breakout. Pre-market limit price order. I use limit orders. Are you talking about limit stop orders or? I just use regular limit orders. Oh, I haven't been using them recently, but it's not a bad idea to start using them when I add to my positions. We got 3 minutes to 7 a.m. still. I've said before, I don't normally trade before 7 a.m. Kind of a rule to myself. I do kind of like this pullback, but we got a minute and a half left. Let's see if it holds. See an 8,000 share seller in the way. I was around 1020. I do like the daily. We got a minute left. I'll watch on this candle. Maybe we got a 7 a.m. pop on this. It holds 10. Okay, I'll take a position. Stop is 975. I'm going to look for that 10 a.m. pop up to 11. I'm just going to take a scalp in and out, I think. Hello? Orders? My trade zero is lagging. This isn't good. Please get me out of the position. Holy smokes. That was spooky. I just wanted a quick scalp, and I put my order out on the bid 3 times, and it didn't go. So I have to take my hands off the keyboard and not trade for a second. I don't know why I'm lagging. But that was a nice 7 a.m. pop for a little bit of a cushion on the day. You liked to Quest trade? Yeah, I wonder why. Maybe it's just a surge in volume, or maybe it was like the transition to 7 a.m. I don't know. What's up, adversary? Yeah, I feel like I could have got out. Well, 11 was a fine exit, but maybe I could have scaled out if my orders were going through. Morning, Harris. So I don't like that we closed with 3 topping tails in a row on this pullback. And we've been having a lot of false breakouts up here on past movers like this. So I'd be a little bit worried that if it popped up, it's going to do another false break. My up here was 11:30, 11:31. We also have some dispersed attention this morning, by the way. We have CAPR and Econ moving right now. So I'm a little bit worried about us not having a clean stock and focus. CAPR has some ascending resistance I drew here as I sat down. Oh well. I haven't been looking at the continuation scanners very often, but I probably should start doing that. ATTO, what happened here? Doesn't look like anything happened. What's this? Penny stock popping up? Just financial results. Not enough volume. Got XHLD. Really look that significant. XHG just kind of ended up selling off, I guess. Yeah, FGI did move all the way to 20. Kind of crazy. Same with me, adversary. I gotta leave by 10 most days. 9:30 or 10. And next week I might have 1 or 2 days where I have to leave by like 8:45. Unfortunately. See this breakthrough VWAP and LBGJ. Another Chinese stock with no news. Morning Tex, morning Momentum Trader. See a 22,000 share seller popping up on the ask on this. I mean, this is up 70%, so it's our third leading gainer. LBGJ. But I keep seeing a seller pop up. I don't like how it's closing if it's closing red like this. It's a big spinning top candle. This looks like it's just on downtrend. It's making lower lows. I don't think that there's I don't think there's a pullback on this. CGTL, another Chinese company. Like, are these not just getting pumped? Like, it just feels like pump and dump Chinese stock stuff. Like, it had a move and dropped all the way back down a couple days ago. I don't know. It feels like a pump and dump scheme. You want to send the stock flying, get traders' attention, and then grab liquidity. I don't know. If it pulls away, maybe, but I'm good on that. So be very, very careful today. We're already, like, I'm already seeing a bunch of red flags this morning. So don't lose your lunch money. I got some Happy Meal money to start, but I'm not going to force anything. Like, what is happening with this? Popped up, drop, popped up, drop, curl back up. Daily resistance is 630. Good evening. Morning, Vito. Yeah, I'm having trouble. I'm having difficulty trusting this stock. Like the obvious pivot is like up here at 6, but I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a false breakout. I guess not. It's running into some daily resistance at 638. It broke that actually pretty quickly. Would have been all right for a quick 50-cent scalp, but not really sure what this is going to do. I'm lacking some faith. Already at your profit target, Vito? Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait around and see if we get some news. Otherwise, it's gonna be very hard to trust these no news Chinese stocks. Like, it's true that a scalp from 6 up to like 650 or 7 would have worked here on this break of the flat top, but could have also just done another false breakout. We don't really know. And then it ended up going up and then just rolling over. It wasn't very strong in the end. It's just that some people are willing to jump on the front side of these moves. But is that going to hold up for every stock that pops up? I'm not sure. Yeah, so the problem is that it's Friday. You know, Fridays are usually quieter, and we've been seeing a lot of choppy price action for the whole week. And the penny stocks have been the theme recently, but there's no penny stocks moving today, which is surprising to me. So there's not going to be as many people jumping on. Ooh. Almost clicked a button. I thought was going to send me an order. Oops. Yeah, pretty much would have felt like gambling taking this, whether it was going to work or not. It worked, but I don't know if that had high EV or not. Yeah, MACD cross positive on Wito. A 5-minute cup and handle pattern, sort of. Although it pulled back kind of far for a cup and handle pattern. Like, I do like the daily on Wito if it can get above 11. Like, if it can get above high of day, it's got room to 1450, and then if it gets above 1450, then it's got room up to 20. And then if it gets above that, then we're in a big gap. I like the daily on this, but probably want to wait for it to form an obvious pivot or retest high of day. Something like FGI. It could be. We got 5 minutes or so till 7:30 though. I see CGTL curling back up. I just don't know if I even want to touch it. I feel like it's going to chop around. Yeah, there was something going on with Trade Zero this morning because it says that my shares traded this morning as 60 shares, but I've only traded 40 shares, 20 in, 20 out. Why does it say I traded 60? I don't know. I have this sell order that never filled. Took 10 seconds for my order to get filled. Very odd. Seller never showed up on your total view NASDAQ. Some level twos, like there are different types of order books. I don't remember the names of the different type of order books, if I'm going to be honest. But the function of one is, I think, it shows like a summarized view, and then there's another level two that shows like every individual order. So sometimes the level two orders will show differently depending on what type of level two order book you have. But my stomach is not liking me today. I'm gonna might wait around to see if there's something at 7:30, and then I gotta go to the washroom. Pod lot treatment? Oh, maybe. Could be. Trading diapers. All right, I don't see anything. I gotta go to the washroom. Even if this pops through high day here, I've already kind of thought that this isn't like very trustworthy. If it breaks through high of day, maybe I would take a position on it. I don't know, but I'm gonna make a mistake if I'm not feeling very well. So I'll be right back here. Turn off camera. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Um, what did I miss? I missed Wheato. Up to 1174. So now with that topping tail, we might have ascending resistance. It's possible that it could even be here. I'm not sure what this is going to do up here. It is a little bit unfortunate that I missed this. Because there was a nice entry right there at that pivot. There's a bit of a flat top here, came up, formed a pivot, and then this 1 minute candle right here had a nice pullback. 1030 up to 1150. So it is what it is. Up here, I'm not sure what it's going to do though. Low is about 1080, 1081. So, so I guess this right here, this breakout was it was the spicy chicken finger tax. Unfortunately, you know, we all got to pay up sometime when we eat spicy food, but you know, it is what it is. Every time I eat spicy food the day after, I think I should stop eating spicy food, and then I eat it. You know, it just happens again. Just do it again. Can't help it. Maybe that's the solution. Spicy food only on Saturdays. So do I add this to the missed opportunities tally? Put in my notes, don't eat spicy chicken fingers on weekdays? Maybe. I feel like that's the one part where my discipline would slip though, a little bit. I don't feel like I can hold that discipline. Hmm. I'm watching this penny stock because I'm curious if it's gonna do another 1000% move. Are we gonna get it breaking through one up through $10 or something? Is that the theme? What about IQST? This is also moving. When does the short covering start? Food with too much sugar? Sugar is what keeps me up in the middle of the night. It's a different problem. So what is Wito doing up here? It rejected 3 times off of that ascending resistance. And now it's coming back up. Ascending support on Wito? Yeah, possibly. Yeah. The problem is, right now I feel like the clean move is already done. Like we had the pop, the 7 a.m. pop. It failed. We formed a pivot. We came back up. We've, we had the clean move for the move back up, and now we're chopping around here. So there's not really any trades for me here unless it can break 1175 5 and pull away. Because I do like this daily. But I suppose there is a second problem on this, and that, like, when I look at this daily now, like, there was 15 million shares of volume back here on the 29th of July. So this is still on the backside of a bigger move. All right, it did come all the way up today. But the high of that previous move was 1431, right? Or was it 16? I have to check and make sure. No, the high of this previous move is actually all the way up here. It's 1696, which was the high of one of these candles back here, maybe? No. It just feels like there's a lot of resistance in the way here now. Like I have all these lines drawn, right? But they're all like relevant levels. Like if it gets above 1175, then theoretically speaking, we have multiple levels of support above 11. Since all these levels of resistance now then become support between the ascending resistance and these previous levels. So we gotta wait to see what happens. We got a minute and a half to 8 a.m. I don't wanna. I wanna get my own money. I know the stock likes dropping when I look at it and popping when I look away, but It's kind of like that theory, what's that biological theory that when you stare at something, it's like it acts differently? Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's, yeah, object permanence, Schrodinger's stock. That's basically what's happening. This is why I read chat though, because then I'm not looking at the stock. Stuff will pop up. We just have to fool it. That's all. Think you're gonna stop trading on Fridays? Well, we've we sometimes we have wild card Fridays. Um, like think back to last Friday. Didn't we have a good move last Friday? I don't remember what it was. But sometimes we do get occasional good moves on Fridays. What I would say generally is that Ross's kind of recommendation, one of the recommendations he makes is to like scale into the week. So, you come in on Monday, you start with smaller size, build a cushion on the week, size up into, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then like, maybe after Wednesday and Thursday, you could consider sizing down, but if it's been a really good week, then you don't have to. And then on Friday, maybe you size down a little bit. So size up going into the week, size down as you're ending the week kind of thing. That probably does apply most of the time, except in like really hot markets where it's just all action all the time. But this week, I think this week in particular would probably apply because Monday was super choppy, and then we kind of got some extra action Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then, because it's still been choppy even on, the hottest days of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think, yeah. Yeah, then Friday, because it's been so choppy, then we size down. If CUV, double slit experiment, quantum observer effect. It's one of those. I don't know anything about science. I just remember that one in particular, or I just remember that one example in particular. Oh, Ross did trade Wito. Did he trade the pivot, the break of the pivot? My chicken finger tax. I'm guessing that's where he traded. Either that or he traded the 7 a.m. pop. This isn't the right stock, is it? Not. SPAI. 1,336% revenue growth in Q2. Got all the keywords. It is just a revenue thing, but it's got government contracts for AI powered whatever. Doesn't have any volume right now though. Remove all the past drawings. 7.5 million share float. Well, it doesn't have any volume, so I don't know what it's gonna do yet. Stare at myself in the mirror for 10 minutes? I already do that while I'm drying my hair or shaving. So this isn't up enough on the day for me to consider yet. Lighter volume, only up 20%. 11 million share float. Big selling candle. He traded the 7:43 a.m. candle. Yep. Yep, that's my chicken finger tax candle. Unfortunate. Probably was the cleanest move of the day. Yeah, they stuffed all the keywords in here. So it looks like this is bouncing off of ascending resistance again. I mean, if this keeps holding ascending, or sorry, bouncing off ascending support, if this keeps bouncing off of ascending support, you know, there's gonna come a time where it's gonna have to pick a direction. Yeah, it probably has high short interest from this move back here on July 31st. That is the only thing that I'm worried about, is that it's possible that the short's already covered down here. and that's what caused the pop. And now we're just getting some momentum because, it's one of the few things moving today. So is this going to be strong enough to move back up if the short's already all covered on this? Because it would make sense to cover down somewhere in this area, being close to the low of this previous sell-off. I'm pretty sure short interest doesn't update dynamically, so, 67% short interest could be old news now. I don't really pay much attention to it. Could be wrong about that though. Is this that Jeff Brand stock? Certainly looks like it. Yeah. Looks like they got revenue news today. Certainly not looking very nice. Oh, really? FRTT is? Hmm. How's Candyman doing today? I saw you had another big red day yesterday. Uh-oh. Candy, what's going on? Got He's down again today. Been a really, really tough week. A lot of traders are getting smacked. Except for some of the people who are catching those big squeezes. I think it's quite interesting how difficult it is to maintain discipline in a market like this, whereas how easy it is to maintain discipline in a market that's giving you easy wins. And I think Kenny might have yet to realize that. When you're getting easy wins left and right, and you have green on the screen all the time, You have no problem walking away. The part that you have problem walking away from is when the market's not so easy and you have red days, like when the market's chopping around. Nice job, Drews. 21 out of 25 days. Yeah, that's really good. I'm still not there yet. We've had some good green days, but I've had 3 red days in the past couple of weeks. But my ratio of like green to red days is definitely getting better. Eclipses act on our feelings? I didn't know that. And my issue this week is discipline. Put that on a t-shirt. I need a red hat that says discipline. Well, the move yesterday kind of saved my week, I feel like, because I was red 39 or on Wednesday, and then I was red on Monday as well. I was only up 26 bucks. So I was red on Monday, then I made 26 on Tuesday, so then I was up $10. Then I lost 39 on Wednesday, so then I was down $29. So the move yesterday saved my butt. Red hat that says green hat. I mean, I liked the ideas, like the hat and the shirt ideas and stuff that he had. I didn't buy any of them though. He has enough money. He doesn't need my money. He already got a bunch of my money. He should probably send out a free hat and shirt to every Warrior Pro member for the cost of his courses. Yeah, he called it a small green day. At this point, I think if Ross saw a $5 bill on the side of the street, he probably wouldn't stop to pick it up. He would wait for it to be Oh, Weeto. Hmm. I kind of feel like when I do my recap this week, it's going to be the same old story, though. We missed all the opportunities that mattered, except for one, on that nice green day yesterday. People are going to get sick of hearing the same old thing. Technical issues on CLRO, spicy chicken fingers on this, hesitation on those big moves on those penny stocks, and because I don't normally trade penny stocks, and then hesitation on that big move on SCKT, and I think there was another one as well. Yeah, we certainly only need, it only takes one trade. I know that for sure. But I'm not satisfied with only one trade. I see all the opportunities that are presented to me and I want to capture all of them eventually. Oh, we got 8 minutes, 8:30. Let's see if we get anything else. Yeah, it might. I'm watching it for the break of 11:75. We're getting to the point here. It's gotta go in the next 20 minutes probably. Probably by 8:59. It's gotta pick a direction. But it's possible that it could just break down ascending support at some point, and then there's probably no hope once it breaks down ascending support unless it crawls back up at regular market hours. Because there's just too many levels of resistance up here if it breaks down ascending support. Morning NCDs. I have no idea what it's going to do. I can only try to anticipate a minute into the future. But right now, I can't tell you what it's going to do. Is that your final conclusion? Which one are you switching to? Yeah, I think I've heard mixed reviews about their fills. Some people say their fills are great, and then other people say their fills are terrible. Uh-oh, it's breaking down. Getting bought back up for a false breakdown. Yeah, there aren't many good options other than Trade Zero for us Canadians, I think. Apparently Questrade is good if you're just using like buy on ask, sell on bid, and you're fine for using Questrade for commission free if you're gonna trade like 5 shares. Because apparently it does have direct routing and its execution is okay. And if you don't trade regular market hours, then you don't need to worry about it not showing halt bands or halt resumption prices. Yeah, their level 2 does feel a little bit slow. Morning, Grace. So it looks like this is failing to hold unless it double bottoms here and then comes back up again. We got 8:30 news in 2.5 minutes. Yeah, the hotkeys on Questrade are really basic. Another Chinese stock with a 25 million share float. Is this another stock that has an incorrect float? Yeah, 400, 500,000 share float on this, according to Trade Zero. It feels like Charts Watcher is a little bit worse at showing correct floats than Day Trade Dash. But it's not super, like it is important, but price action is more important than what the float shows. I have other ways to see what the float actually is, but it is still a little bit annoying sometimes. Oh, is it? It was lagging for me last week when I tried giving it a shot. I'm not sure what's going on with it. Yeah, it looks like it's Wito is failing to hold, unfortunately. Did Iran blow up the underwater internet lines? Is that why everything's lagging? I had YouTube lagging last week too, for no reason. I'm just seeing sellers up here refreshing. What is going on with STKH? I didn't pull this up because this is on the was on the backside of a previous move. But 7 is previous high. I'm honestly surprised that this is even moving like this as much as it is. We're on the backside of this move here. But we just popped all the way up to the previous high. What is happening here? Yeah, nice job if you guys got that. Wow, that's strong. Yeah, this was the move for the day, and I just completely looked it over because I knew that it had moved recently. I think that's another thing that I'm gonna have to add to the list is that I can't show prejudice towards certain stocks just because they've done something before. Um, except for like the really, really bad ones. But I mean, I just didn't pull this up. I had too much pessimism. Like it was a weird time. It was 8:36. I was like, I recognize that stock. That stock moved like a couple days ago. So, I mean, I think this has happened once before. So I'm gonna have to add that to my list of concerns to address. We'll see. Maybe it gives us a 1 minute pullback. Yeah, it has no news, but the stocks that have no news seem to be the ones that are moving the most recently, for whatever reason. I'm not sure what it's going to do on this pullback. Because it doesn't feel like a clean pullback to me. Oh, that's a nice move. Ends up being a bit of a false break. And to move back down. Yeah, lots of clean pullbacks on the way up here. 1, 2. Could have taken... I think I was watching this at this point, and I could have taken that. But I was looking at the previous highs. Hmm. I'd love to pump. Well, it was popping up on my scanners. Like it started popping up on my scanners at 8:36. Am I running up in my Hive Day Momo scanners? Nice job, whoever got in on these micro pullbacks back here. So, bit of a pivot at 775, high of 820. $30 left on that 5-minute candle close. Have a good one, the Fisk. It's really, really whippy. I don't like. Nasty rejection. It's good for a quick scalp from VWAP all the way up to high of day. Oh, Ross got a big loss on that. That sucks. Let me open up his stream. I'm gonna have to add the front side of this move to my missed opportunities list as well. Oh yeah, $45,000 loss after getting a good green on Wheato. Nasty. Yeah, it's not just this week though. It's actually been very recently. Well, not very recently. It's actually been for the past couple of months that bull flags and ABCDs on the 1 minute heavily get shorted. There's only been a handful of them that have actually kind of held up. And the reason for that is because the stock is already very extended by the time the front side of the move is over. So once it's going sideways up here, it's already up like 100, 200%. Because this moved from $3 all the way up to $8. So, you know, front side of the move already finished. Did Ross trade the front side here? Does he still have a $45,000 loss despite getting green on the front side, or did he also not trade it like I did? I didn't have the stream open at that time. Yeah, he just mentioned relative volume. See, like 90 relative volume right now on this is 90%. So exactly what Yuan Mo said. It's on the backside on the daily. Like it popped so many times that I just didn't even pull this up because I didn't expect it to have a clean front side move. Relative volume is less than 1. I'm still going to add this to the missed opportunities list because I probably should have traded the front side since it was moving so quickly. Yeah, he did. Okay. You don't know tape reading, but an expert like Ross can't figure out a breakout from the tape. What do you mean? Like, are you isolating the specific circumstance right here that happened? I would say that he's a millionaire trader and he makes a lot of money. Um, you know, we at any point we don't know what the market is going to do. Like we can't say with certainty whatever something is going to what a stock is going to do. What we do is we operate in probabilities. So there's probably a very high probability Ross thought that this was going to break out and it just didn't. Maybe like 7 times out of 10 that would have broken out and would have made money for him. It just didn't this time. You can't isolate specific circumstances and point to it and say like, well, he couldn't read it that time. Well, there's information in the market that we don't have, right? Like we have no idea why this rejected. There could have been a big hidden seller up here. Like it's an Israeli company, right? It's an international company. Maybe there's a bunch of short sellers just waiting up here, or maybe the company themselves is selling shares. Like we don't know what happened, and we can't get that information. And any one person can affect the outcome of a stock, right? It only takes one person to put out 100,000 share sell order to influence the outcome of a stock. Like we don't know that. All we can do is operate in terms of probabilities and have an edge in the market. So he makes millions of dollars and his tape reading works a good majority of the time. But, you know, we just need to make sure that when things don't go in our favor, we cut our losses. And when things do, we let them continue longer. Yeah, exactly, apothecary. I agree. Yeah, no problem. I mean, there's a lot of people who, and I'm not saying that you're coming in with prejudice. Like you asked me a legitimate question, but there's a lot of people who point to stock trading and they say that this is gambling. And they're not wrong, but when you look at a casino and they're making millions of dollars, millions or billions of dollars per year, the casinos are technically gambling, but the difference between the casino and the player is that the casino has the edge. The house has the edge. All stock trading is doing is we develop a strategy so that it has an edge, so that there's a certain probability that what the setups that we're taking work, but sometimes they don't, and there's nothing that we can do to account for that. There's nothing that we can do to avoid it other than cut our losses. So there are things that we do that give us edge, like tape reading and consistently executing our strategy. But we can't know everything. We're not prophets, unfortunately, and we don't have all the information. We're up, especially for large cap traders, like we're up against high frequency trading algorithms developed by like Harvard and some of the biggest universities and knowledge centers in the world. Like, how do we compete against that? It's very, very difficult. That's why 90% of traders lose money. But there is still a point to it. And the point is that if you put in a lot of effort and hard work to be able to execute your strategy consistently, which takes a lot of time, um, then you can be like Ross. But even Ross has days where he takes big losses. It's just the nature of the game. He's down $18,000. He lost 45,000 on SDKH, but he was up 26,000 on Wito. People, some people celebrate when he loses. Well, I mean, I don't know if they actually have, if you mean that they actually have malice for them. I think that there's some Schadenfreude with him because for some people, he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, so they like when he loses because it reminds them that he's human. He's not a god. But he's been taking losses more frequently lately, it seems like. One of my greatest pitfalls when I began honor when I began was not honoring my stop. Yeah, I agree, Apothecary. And that is probably one thing I will address in my recap is that I haven't been doing like I read Trading in the Zone and I have my mantras here on the side of my OneNote, but I haven't been doing the best at trying to change my reactions to certain things. Like sometimes you'll hear me on stream and I take a loss, I'll just say out loud, "Oh, that's super annoying." But why should it be annoying? Right? If it's a part of my strategy and it didn't work, then it just didn't work. That's just the nature of the game. It's only annoying because I believe in the moment that something I did affected the outcome. And so, like, I'm the one taking the loss because I traded poorly. Like, it's personal, but the market isn't personal. It's only giving you buy and sell signals. The only thing you can do is take them or not take them according to your strategy. So it shouldn't be annoying because if your strategy says you have a 50% win rate with a 2-to-1 profit loss ratio, you're still making money, but you're going to lose every other trade and you just got to accept that. So it shouldn't be annoying, and I understand that. But sometimes I'll say out loud, like, oh man, that's annoying. Requires a bit of a change in mindset. And honoring the stop loss is one of the important parts of that, is that we don't know what the market is going to do. If our strategy says that we're going to have a 50% win rate, then the only thing that we can do is to cut our losses. There was an interesting quote that I read the other day as I'm continuing to read through Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, and he said that when a man is wrong, the only way to be right is by ceasing to be wrong. When you get in a trade and it's wrong, the only right thing to do is to cease to be wrong, which means cut your losses. So this looks like a buyout to me. So Wito still bouncing off VWAP. Have any experience in trading before joining Warrior Trading? No. I started in July. Like I found trading in July. I spent 2 weeks trying to figure out if it was something I was interested in, and then I started with Warrior Trading in August. Well, actually, August is like I spent time watching the free stuff on his YouTube, and then I think I purchased the courses in September. It was either September or October of last year. So no, I don't have any experience in trading before joining Warrior Trading, but I do have a bachelor's in business with a major in accounting, if that counts for anything. Yeah, I try to learn something new every week. I spent a lot of upfront work when I first started to learn as much as I possibly could. Back Bakotako. Is that how you pronounce your name? It doesn't? Yeah. I mean, it helps me understand a little bit of fundamental analysis, but you know, this type of trading doesn't even really use that much fundamental analysis. So, I mean, I can vaguely understand certain things about business, but that doesn't really matter that much. The biggest benefit is just that I can do my own tax returns without having to pay an accountant. I know how to do my own tax returns. Have I ever looked into trading futures? I have, yeah. The only problem I have with trading the big the big ETFs and futures and S&P 500 and large caps is that the competition is a lot heavier there. I would have to put a lot of thought into what strategy I use and if it actually has an edge. And I think that small caps fits my style better. Uh, Trading something like futures, you kind of gotta take a position and then sit on your hands for sometimes an hour at a time while you wait for the stock to go in the direction that you want. I'd be a little bit impatient. But I did think about it. Like, if I ever have success with small caps, I could theoretically have another trading PC on the side and trade futures at the same time. Like, there's nothing stopping me from doing that. Well, it would be different times of the day, actually, because small caps mostly pre-market, and then futures would mostly be regular market hours, like futures or S&P 500 or large caps, whatever I decide to trade. If I did trade that, then that would be regular market hours for the most part. But I would probably focus on one thing first. So success in small caps first, and then if I can make money from small caps, then I can dabble in trading other stuff. The only issue is that you need to trade large caps and futures and stuff. You need a bigger account size, which would be a limiting factor for me right now. And I don't really want to do prop firm stuff. Yeah, trading broad market with no edge is very difficult. Yeah, I agree. Well, does orb actually have an edge? To me, the way the strategy sounded is that if it breaks the high of the 5 minute candle, then you long, and if it breaks the low, then you short, and that's all you do. So what, like, it sounds easy, but why, like, are there profitable traders that trade that strategy? Like, why wouldn't that strategy be profitable for most people? That's something that I would have to look into. I'm not sure. Did people really not have the discipline to just sit through it? At least the opening range breakout that I'm thinking of. I could be thinking of something different, but I'm thinking like market open, first 5 minute candle forms, um, break of the range, break of the top of the 5 minute candle or the 15 minute candle. Some people use 5, 10, or 15 minute candles. Might be the 15 minute candle, I'm not sure. But break of the high is the buy, break of the low is the short, right? Hmm. I mean, it's something that I would look into eventually. If I have a surplus of capital sitting around, there's no reason for me not to try. If it is indeed correct that there is an edge somewhere in large cap trading, which there should be. All right, have a good one, Momentum Trader. Nice job on the green week. What strategy do the professional traders like Tom Homan use? Does he trade like the S&P? I don't really know. I haven't done that much digging. So this is climbing back up. He trades NQ futures. Oh, the mini NASDAQ. Hmm. I mean, it would be something to consider. But I have to get some success in small caps first, and then also, uh, you know, if I become a full-time trader, I need time to learn that. I can't trade regular market hours right now since I have a job. So What is Ross's edge? Part of his edge is his 20 years of experience. Like there can be multiple edges, um, in my opinion, right? Edge, you could simplify your edge into one sentence, and I think the edge of this strategy trading small caps is that you're trading a broken slot machine, right? Because it's breaking out, moving quickly, or making new highs when you're taking the trades, it has a higher probability of working and giving you a higher risk reward ratio on your trades. That's what I think the edge of this strategy is. But I think Ross's edge in particular, if you were to add more edges on, are his intuition, 20 years of experience, and tape reading. That's his execution edge. But the strategy stock selection in particular and what the stock is doing at the time that you take the trade, those are the strategy's edge. Yeah, stocks in play, analytical, technical, emotional, and some followers. Yeah, stocks in play and the analytical and technical are part of the strategy. Emotional, I don't know if I would categorize like emotional discipline as an edge particularly. It's more like disaster prevention. But I guess you could call it an edge because a lot of people just don't have it. And some followers. Yeah, it's got a little bit of an edge there. Technical equals light speed. When I think of edge, though, I think of it as like what is giving you a probability over the market, like a probability of having a higher EV than what the market has in general. And I don't think software is really a part of it. You can have the best software in the world, and 90% of the traders still lose money. Traders have had, we've had the most access to the market that we've ever had. It's back in the 90s, or not the 90s, back in the 1900s, people could still have edge. It was just different. But we have the most access to the market that we've ever had electronically, and people are still losing money. So I don't think technology is necessarily an edge. Well, I mean, if you run an algorithm is a different type of edge. I'm like, if you give humans the tools to perform something, humans are only capable of performing so much. We can't process at the speed of an algorithm, so it doesn't matter how fast a software is at a certain point because our brains can only process so much. But if you're talking about like algorithms, yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm specifically talking about retail trader edge. Not like algorithms. Algorithms obviously do have an edge because they can perform things at the speed that no human could ever dream of doing. Hey Fukuro, thanks. You feel that I'm going to become profitable once I increase my share sizes. Maybe I'll consider increasing my share size a little bit next week. I'm not sure yet. I did have a couple of red days this week, which wasn't very nice, but we stayed on track at least, and we picked out one of the better opportunities for the week, but we still missed a lot, fortunately. And we had some spicy chicken finger tacks earlier. I missed a trade that I probably would have taken if I was at my desk, unfortunately. Yeah, my chicken finger pivot. I think that was the best opportunity for the day, and I missed it. Besides STKH, I honestly, I just didn't pull it up because I thought that the relative volume is too low, and it's that stock has been moving for like the past month over and over again. So it felt like noise to me, but it ended up actually moving, which is unfortunate. But I missed that. Thank you, Bako. Your name is giving me pause on how to pronounce it. Bako Taco. My apologies. Call you call you Baki? Oh well, this isn't gonna be the last spicy chicken finger tax day. Um, we bought some spicy chicken fingers from Costco. My mom made a trip to Costco and she bought like 6 bags of spicy chicken fingers while she was there. We all love them. So I got some spicy chicken fingers in the freezer I gotta eat. Normally they're not that bad though. I don't know why today in particular after I ate them it just didn't sit well with me this morning. Yeah, I gotta eat them on the weekend. Thanks, Fukuro. I'm doing better about my drawdowns, but I still have to change my mindset a little bit so that whenever I take a loss, that it just doesn't phase me. It's still phasing me a little bit, and sometimes when I'm looking to take an entry, my emotions are still like there's still some adrenaline there, which isn't good. But I need to continue just executing and eventually try to stay calm. We've got 4 minutes to market open here. I'm not sure, like, now this ascending resistance and support are both going to be resistance. So we got a bunch of resistance on Wito. CAPR, the float is too high. SDKH is came all the way back down now. There's not really anything that I'm going to be watching at the open in particular. If this, I mean, if Wito gets over 1175, then it does have room on the daily up to 15 and then 20 and then in this gap. But I feel like it's going to be halting around again. Like FGI yesterday was the stock that was similar to this, right? And it sold off at the open and then came back up and it's just halting around constantly. This looks nice, but it's not easy to trade. Well, it's funny because when I eat spicy food, like if my mom has a tiny bit of spice, she's like panting and she needs a glass of water. But I could eat pretty hot food and it doesn't really phase me. It only phases me the day after. I like eating, for example, I like eating the Flamin' Hot Cheeto Crunchies or the Flamin' Hot Cheeto Puffs. Those are great, but if I have those, it's almost guaranteed the next day I'm not going to be feeling well. So, market's open. I make it a rule not to trade the first 3 minutes of market open. And this is just selling off. I suppose SDKH is still gapping up for the day, getting close to that previous daily candle high. Oof. Big false break. Nasty. Nasty stuff. All right, have a good one, human. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, exercise is a remedy to a lot of things. Thanks for popping in. Have a good one, Tex. I mean, this kind of has a pivot above 630 for the breakthrough VWAP as well. And it dumps. So I don't know if I could trust this. Do we have Weto that's currently in a halt down? STKH is being really choppy. CAPR below VWAP. Econ, Canadian healthcare. Really far below the highs. Also dumping. Have a good one, Talk. I think the right move today, since I can't stick around long enough to see anything move, is just not to take any trades and just take the green day, the small green day. I missed the best opportunity of the day on Weto and SDKH. So there's no reason for me to overstay my welcome here in this kind of choppy opening bell area. I'm probably going to get smoked if I take any trades right now. So I think I'm going to call it too. You know, it is possible that something here, like for example, FGI yesterday did the same thing that Wito's doing right now, where it sold off and then it comes back up later in the day. But I got to get to my job, so I can't stick around to find out. Gonna shut it down. $17 green day. We got that nice 7 a.m. pop. So I think I'm up around $67 on the week. Not bad. But definitely could have been a bigger green week, like the previous 2 weeks. It feels like every single week there's so many opportunities that I'm missing that I could have had a much bigger green week. It is what it is. We're still improving, still learning. So we'll get there eventually. But thank you, Kingman. Yeah, if everyone continues trading on this Friday, just manage your risk. Take care. I'll be back at it on Monday, 7 a.m. Eastern time as per usual. But until then, take care, stay green. See you guys next time.